Hi guys, welcome to the channel. Welcome if you're new. I'm Stacy, and today we're going to be painting a hummingbird in flight. This is in my mixed media pad, the little one that I have. Let's see, what's the paper? This is, it's rag. 100% rag fine art paper. It feels like mixed media paper to me. It doesn't fight the watercolor at all, though, which is really nice. I'm working wet into wet, and I'm using my Beam Paints, as you can see, my lovely, lovely palette. I'm just going for it. I am going for whimsical and not overthinking it. I want there to really be lots of action and movement in the piece. Being so small, it's hard to convey that, the bird taking over the page. If there was empty space and it was on like a bigger canvas, it would convey movement quite a lot more. But yeah, it's a nice practice. There I go with that good color again. That is the pumpkin spice. Isn't it great? It's so pretty. It's my favorite color in this whole palette. I have iced tea. I did my cold brew today. So I'm just dropping in, let's see, where is my, I did have it out just a bit ago. I moved things around again. I did another vlog. That's coming up tonight. There it is. I found it. My swatches. Cherry magenta is the red that I'm using, right? Yeah, that's that deep dark red next to the pink, next to that vibrant beach rose color. I also put beach rose on the wings as well. Right now, I'm dropping in some of the glacial rivers is the color I'm dropping in right now. Oh no, it's not. I lied. It's the Prussian blue. I do love the Prussian blue in this palette. It's a really glorious color. When you put it on really light, it's a bright, bright blue. And when you put it on in like a medium tone, it leans towards more like ultramarine. And then if you get it a super heavy application, it leans into indigo. Or it can even read as black if you get enough good layers on. And this is that magenta color, the cherry magenta. I did order another of the Boreal or Boreal or Boreal Boreal PG-17, which looks like a sap green to me because I've got that one down to the very bottom of the little cup there. So I had extra dollars on my shop app and used it to order that replacement. I'm doing this for this piece. There's a lot of push and pull. There's a lot of laying down color and getting it too heavy and picking it back up. And because I'm working wet into wet, it's bleeding a little further than I want it to in some places. So you'll see me dropping color and go right in and pick it back up and back and forth. I'm dropping down to a smaller size brush. These are my Quil brushes from Grabie. They're a favorite. This is the round number 1. I have to look at it in my hand, yeah. And the next size up that I was using was the number 3. In this particular set, that's what the numbers are. I pulled out one of my little cups that I use for a palette, and here I am with that Prussian blue getting in there. And I figured since I used it in the background really lightly, I should probably put a little bit in the bird, and I got too dark too fast. So here I am trying to lighten it back up and putting in another application of my pumpkin spice is the orangey color that I'm using. And I'm going ahead and dropping in some of that blue, and it bleeds into that magenta beautifully and makes gorgeous purples. The magenta and the Prussian make really beautiful purples. I decided to use the Prussian blue for my dark color throughout the piece, for some contrast and a little bit of shadowing here and there. And you'll see as I get going that it gets a little heavier and heavier as we go. Right now we're dropping in light layers and very wet into wet still, so these layers are going to bleed around quite a lot. I apologize for my voice. I am still getting over that cold again. Another cold, you guys. It's terrible. I want to get some heavier feather lines in down here. I know he's in movement and there's a lot going on. Hummingbirds in movement, you can't really see their wings. So maybe he's slowed down enough to land or something. But you can see their tail feathers a bit and their body for definite. Usually it's a flash before your eyes. They're so fast. And they're teensy little things too. They're no bigger than your thumb. Their little body, that is. My thumb anyways. And that magenta. Look at it. A heavier application of the magenta. It's nice and it's just a really nice dark color. And I'm putting in some action kind of marks. I want there to feel like there's visual movement, right? Then I decided to go ahead and carry the magenta up the back of the body. And while I'm doing it, I'm like, I don't know. All right, let's switch to blue. Let's see how that goes. Do we like that? When I get my fat hand out of the way, you'll be able to tell. I'm doing little dots. Little dot. And letting it bleed around a bit. And going in with just the tip of the brush to get those little wiggly marks for indication of feathers with the blue, letting it bleed around and be soft right now. The paper is drying just very, very slowly. And get some heavier marks in on the back and down at the bottom. Switching back and forth between the magenta and the blue at this point. Here I am dropping in some more blue. And this is that Prussian. See, it mixes so nicely with that magenta and turns into these really beautiful purples, which I love. I'm not so sure about the marks I put in behind his wing there, so I stopped and I left it. And now I'm mixing up a bit more purple to carry up into the tops of the wings to give them some definite shape. And again, there's a lot of push and pull with this, and I'm dragging the color down into the wings for that, once again, feeling of movement. And then I decided to go ahead and carry out that purple into the background up there behind that wing. Try not to cough directly into the mic. Now I'm going through and softening it because I don't like how just bold the marks are. I want them to be more soft. So wet them down. Then I'm just going to carry them through the rest of the piece a little bit. Some of that darker purple blue color here and there, kind of scrubbing it around with the brush, like smashing the brush down pretty hard. I really don't like how dark it is right there. So I'm misting it and trying to pick it up with a paper towel. It's not very effective. That Prussian blue is very staining. So usually once it's in, it's in. Put a little more Prussian blue on the side there so that I can have the opportunity to mix that purple again. And I'll touch a black. I'm going to go in with and try to do the eye now, but I'm going to choose a smaller brush. This is my Royal and Langnickel round number 1. Or is it the 0.5? It might be the 0.5. At any rate, it's a teeny tiny liner brush. And I'm dropping in the darks on the eye. And I'm sorry, once again, my hand is right in the way. And I'm going in slowly, like not super dark right away. I'm going to get in the shape of the beak. With the blue, throw in a layer. It works better that way with watercolor. Put in a light layer first. See how you like it. Is it the right shape? Do you need to pick it up? For the most part, it's fine. And I decide that I really need some bolder feather marks on that, on his little cap, his hood, the crest. Oh, this tea is not bad. It's the peach one. Of course, I did just get done my workout, so maybe that's why I'm thirsty. I'm going to slowly get heavier and heavier with that paint. Drop in some magenta. And once again, going back and forth. These little birds are very colorful and ever-changing in color patterns and colors themselves. They come in a whole rainbow of colors. So I feel pretty free when painting these birds to do whatever I want. I mean, I know this is a pretty fantastical color scheme, but I'm digging it. I think they look pretty together, the colors. I'm getting a little darker with that magenta. I'm not really digging it, but I'm going with it. Once you start, try and get in there. The paper's a little drier now, so I can get some dry brush effects for that feather texture. A little too wet there and blobbed it all out on accident, so I'm going to pick that up and try again. Get in some magenta over that blue and dab, dab, dab. Just so that it looks pink and blue right through there. I'm not really digging the marks. So once again, if you don't like the marks that you made, you can try to wet them and pick them up really quickly. And I'm going to try and get in the beak now. Another light layer. I don't want to get too carried away too fast with the bold darks. Once they're in, especially with this Prussian blue. And his beak's a little curved, but it's too late to straighten it out. So I just leave it. Maybe his little bird beak is a little, it's a little curved. Just needs a little bit. It's okay. Everybody's different. Don't judge. Here we go. With the dark Prussian blue and really getting in that eye shape with the tip of this brush. And no water, just dark. There's a little spot in that little center of the palette of paint, the little cup of paint that's very wet. So I'm dipping into that. It's very inky consistency. And I'm not wetting the brush at all unless it gets too dry. Then you can wet it, dry it, and then grab more color. And it'll be just wet enough to give you those bolder, darker lines without having them spread around too much or blob on you and be too intense, too big. Going for little tiny itty bitty feather marks. And I want his head and body to be pretty clear, pretty plain, and then his wings to feel blurred and more in action. So I'm concentrating on details in the head and where the wing meets the body. I want there to be a blur of like dark and where it attaches, it's going to be a little bit more dark. Sorry, I didn't mean to slurp. My ice cubes got in the way. And then just the top of those wings, a little more definition. And then some more. You see me just swiping really quickly. No added water, just paint, and shooting for a blurred yet feathery kind of line. Definitely being mindful of direction as well. And then I decide that back wing is way too light. So I go ahead and throw more pink on it. Then I drag some of that pink through my beautiful yellow color. And it obliterates it a little bit, but I can always go. The mica colors are very powerful because the mica tends to push the other paints away. And it's very bold and heavy. So it tends to push the other paints out of the way when you put it over the top of them. And quick marks. And then again with that Prussian blue and little tiny marks, quick little tiny marks to get in that feather texture. Not trying to be exact or realistic. Those pieces take forever to do. Those are pieces that take hours if I'm going for realism. It's layer upon layer and generally mixed media. Unless I'm doing a very serious watercolor piece, then it's, again, layer upon layer, but it takes a while. A couple of hours at least. For a piece this size, it could take me a couple of hours to get this done. As it stands, this one I have kicked up by 50% the speed. So this is not real-time painting. It's kicked up just a bit. Mostly because I didn't think I could talk for 35 minutes, 40 minutes. Plus, it's more fun to watch these a little quicker when you're just watching. But if you are painting with, you can slow this video down using the little wheel in the corner. You can change the settings. You can speed me up or slow me down. You might want to mute me, though, because I'll sound funny. Unless that's entertaining for you, you know. Do you. Almost there. And I think this turned out super cute. I'm loving the colors. I decided to paint while listening to my book because I run more on instinct when I don't have to talk through a painting. And they tend to, this kind of piece tends to come out better when it's more spontaneous. Like ideally, I would have just wet the bird, put the yellow down and let it dry completely. And then gone in and wet the bird again and gone in with the other colors on top. And then done the background a little differently. Now that I'm thinking about it after the fact, of course. And you can totally do that. You can paint the same painting over and over again. And you learn so much. With every painting that I do, there are things that I would do differently if I did it a second or third time. And some little action lines on that tail. And again, loving the colors. What do you think of these colors together? Like I said, that pumpkin spice color is my favorite in this palette. It's like my favorite color across the board right now for paints. I'll put my swatch over there so it doesn't fall on the floor again. And carrying the pink a little bit to get a little more shape to that body. And then that back and forth glow. Because these birds tend to look very shiny and sparkly. I'm carrying that pink through a little bit in the yellow. Kind of kick it back a little bit. It doesn't all have to be super vibrant. And I wanted to get a little bit of brightness on that beak, so I'm trying to go with that pink. And it's more of a gouache, that pink is. So it's a little heavier. And you can put it over other colors. And it's thicker and heavier. It kind of pushes the other colors away as well. Going in with that blue again. Just kind of lightly dragging the brush. Sorry about the focus. My camera's focusing on my hand and the tip of the brush, actually. Because I'm holding it right straight up and down. But I'm just dry brushing. Just scribbling a little bit of shadow on that wing. We're pretty close to done. Guys, let me know what you think of this one. I'd love to hear from you in the comments. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe if you're new. I'd love to have you be a permanent member of the crew. If you want, no pressure. And we're almost done. I'm just going to like stop at some point here and do a little close-up action. Because I always think the close-ups of the marks are interesting to see. They make it feel more like a painting to me. Plus, I like texture. Texture in real life makes it feel... It gives the piece more feeling, I think. And there we go. All done. Loving the mark making on this one. I'm digging him. Her. Him. You pick. I'm glad you were here. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.